you. We've come together on the earth plane with the purpose of receiving answers to our questions from our spirit guides and advisors that are happy to link with us. I would like to start by introducing members of our circle. My name is Neil, and with me today is Chris, Nikki, Adrian, Ashley, and Donna. I would like to welcome all members of the Spirit Circle and thank you for believing in us. As we try to lift our energy levels sufficiently to enable you to bridge and make contact through our mediums, we are focusing and offering you the opportunity to link through us. We also have some mediums within our group who are tasked to record any philosophical statements. If there is any guidance or direction of a general nature we need to appreciate, it will be relayed to our circle members after our connection has ended. Please link directly through your choice of medium. Where possible, we would respectfully appreciate confirmation that we have achieved a successful link either through a sense of doing or even more grateful to hear the spoken word itself. As we try to lift our energy levels in our own circle and with the help of our own guides and others in spirit, we look forward to making the connection to the spirit circle. When we have achieved that, could you confirm when you are ready for us to put questions to you, please?
Is someone going to check up on Nikki? Because I'm just wondering, because she might be channeling and not realising that she's not even on.
Do that. Their energy is high. You just have to connect and blend together. Can anybody else hear the song coming to my heart? I've got so much love to give you. Yes. Your energy is high, but you're not quite blended together. Imagine holding each other's hands around a fire, and you're passing your energy on from the left through to the next person, back round in the circle. Do this for a few more moments. As you pass your energy, imagine the flames in front of you at the fire are increasing each time you pass it round. The energy build-up is getting really strong. Now we're linked together through our hearts and our souls. The spirit guides, our spirit guides, are moving closer, raising the energy and the vibration. Take that energy, use it, with it, you can connect. Good evening to you all. Good evening. Thank you for letting us come and join you again.
Thank you for joining us. I was wondering, when Neil opened up the circle, he introduced everybody to yourselves. So I was hoping you'd share with us who sits on your circle and let us know whether that changes from week to week.
Yes, it does change. We are your guides. And we all have to join together as you do with your hearts. The energy is quite strong tonight, but I feel that there is one that is not with us tonight. So, as part of your question, there is a change of guides with us here tonight.
Do each of us here have 2 guides each, or does it differ from each person in the group?
You all have more than 2 guides. Some are temporary guides that you might know as helpers. But when we come down to join you in the circle, it is the guides that come down for your questions.
Okay, thank you. But also what I wanted to share with you as well, like if ever spirit or our guides have any questions for us, we'd be open to listening to your questions as well.
We do have questions, but we always answer those within yourselves. Your own guides will let you know in your head.
It's true. That answers my second question, which was whether or not there is anything in particular that any of us need to know or that you would like to advise us.
Advice is always given, but it's always given, as you would say, on a personal level. It is always in gentle advice or subtle suggestion. So it might come as form as a question that you might ask yourself or think you're asking yourself. But it is just that subtle hint or suggestion or question
I'm with you.
to make you answer yourself or ask others for advice.
Yeah. Within our closed circle on the earth plane, are there any of us that are connected to our development groups on the spirit plane?
Yes, some of you are connected. Some of you have also come down from your groups as well.
Are you able to tell us who?
I think that you will all know, as the feeling will come upon you with this question and answer, of a sense of feeling that you know who has come down together, who has just also met if you haven't come together at the same time, that you have actually just met on the earth plane for the first time, but at different stages in your earth years. You know this by a sense when you meet people, that you have that fondness where you meet people straight away. You sort of feel that you've met them before, or you just suddenly get along very well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are also people that you have not met yet as well. You get these little like nudges through your life. Some are long lasting and some are just for brief moments in your time, but you will know. And when you get back up to the spirit realms, you will laugh and see how it happens.
Are extraterrestrials, like aliens, real?
Yes.
Do
The,
some,
uni-
sorry,
the universe is infinite. There is no, as you see, as it is infinite, it is impossible to have planets with no life on them.
do some extraterrestrials live within the Earth plane?
Yes, but they are unseen.
Are they within other human souls undercover?
No, your spirit souls are like as animals. They can't be mixed in the sense of spirit souls.
So they're here, but we as humans can't see them. Is that what
No.
you mean? No?
That is correct.
So there's never been any, let's say, any interrelations between extraterrestrials and humans. Like, have extraterrestrials ever bred with human souls and been successful?
No, not by the soul. Souls never mix. Spirits never mix.
If not by the soul, then by another way, or not?
This cannot be answered at this time.
Thank you for your honesty. Do or did the Anunnaki exist?
Yes, many thousands of years ago.
So are they no longer existence?
No, not now. The humans have taken over. They have left, but they left with lessons and history.
Where did they come from originally? Do you know? And what was their purpose?
You would call them your extraterrestrials. They came from other planets. Earth is much older than in your history is believed.
Do you know what planets they came from?
These planets are not in your solar system, so you have not named them and wouldn't understand the naming.
Interesting. What was their purpose?
Their purpose at their point in time was to travel and find other civilizations and to teach and show love and create civilizations.
Do we see God when we are a soul?
No, God is not as you perceive. God is energy, divine energy.
Is it something that can't be seen?
It is something that is felt and known, but not seen, even as guides. And you, when you transition, will never see. You will feel and you will know, but not see. Even the elders sometimes are not seen, but you two communicate with them, and you know who they are.
Was Jesus God's son, or are we made to believe that he is from the writing from the Bible?
All souls, spirit, are God's children, as you may say. Jesus was just one of those in human form.
Why do people follow religion when its foundation comes from a book?
This is down to human belief, imaginary stories, you may say. Some of these stories are partially true with their content, but then obviously, as stories go, they can get exaggerated and added to. As your Bible and religious books are never written at the time of certain events. They're always written quite a long time after the events.
So what is your understanding of the devil and Satan? I know we touched on it briefly last week. That may have been for a different guide, and everybody has different perspectives.
The devil and Satan, again, is human story to try and shy away from bad behavior, thoughts, trying to, as you may say, pass.
Where does bad behavior and bad thoughts come from? You know, do we
It is
have
a
bad
human
spirits?
condition. No, it's a human condition. As the spirit and soul is in the body, it knows love and kindness.
But are there any influences from the spirit world that are evil?
No.
How can you explain sometimes when some people experience it, say, you know, when they have exorcisms, or when they have spirits take over their body in a negative way, that's not necessarily a positive way, or when bad things happen, how where does that come from?
It could be because of their human life. And obviously, there's still energy in human life, as well as your soul and spirit energies. Everything is energy. And when that energy has lots of negativity and the bad thoughts, it builds and builds in those people. Some energies can transfer to spirit and into the soul. But then once transition has happened, that soul is then taken and has to go to their guides and the elders, and has to download what has happened, accept what's been done, and learn and move on. To go forward before joining the other spirits in the realms, or even having to, when teachings have been taught and lessons learned,
So that
maybe to come back and learn again.
So that bad spirit, does it not transition until the human body dies, or after they've been bad, do they then transition and go through that phase of learning?
Once you would say as a bad spirit, that can only be released once the human body has passed.
So it can't be
So the
released in
spirit-
another way, like an exorcism or something.
No, not truly. Sometimes, as you call exorcism, helps that spirit release or align better with itself to pass along, but it's not until it truly goes back into the realms that it can truly lose its negativity and bad energies.
Why do some of them have bad behaviours? Like, where does that come from?
When you're in spirit, as humans have all likes and dislikes and interests, those in spirit still have the same, but there is no bad feelings, there's no jealousy, there's none of those types of feelings up within the realms. It's just synchronicity. There are individuals in themselves in spirits, but nothing too bad. Nothing bad, I should say. So when spirit is born into human form, it only knows love and kindness. As you see in newborn babies. Everything else is taught through the human life.
What are your, this is a bit controversial now, what are your views on COVID vaccinations? Do you think they're safe for us?
The COVID situation
And the vaccinations?
The vaccinations are there. COVID vaccinations is nothing to be frightened of. It is helping with the virus that is around. Some of you may see it as money-making ventures for the corporations, but it is all a part of the human condition and learning, hoping to bring you all together, spend more time with each other, love each other, to try and bring you all together as one.
So you don't,
Eventually,
that makes sense in terms of bringing people together and people realising certain things. But where did it start from? Was it created by man?
yes, it was created by man.
Is that bad behaviour? Is that spirit going for a lesson later on? Or is that seen as doing good because it's uniting people together?
It might have been a suggestion through spirit, but not meant to be in the way that it happened.
If the vaccines are okay, why are so many people having adverse reactions? And some people are dying from them.
I'm unable to answer that at this time.
And another bit of a controversial question. What is your understanding of witches and wizards, both in the spirit realm and on the earth plane? Or are they real?
That is all to do with the spirit within. Again, it's down to belief. But your so-called witches that you may say, or wizards, all work with natural elements, your crystals, things that have grown of the earth.
Like what alchemists do?
Yes, like alchemy.
Yeah.
True, as you would say, true witches, as you call them. But they are there for the good, to help, to heal.
And would you say like black magic is real? And if so, what are the repercussions to humans that do it?
Okay, black magic is like your devil. It is just imagination, suggestion. If you suggest something enough, people start to believe. Then they take on that belief, which can then make them feel like something is happening to them.
Or just say that a person has bad intentions for somebody else, and then they put intentions of bad behavior to happen to somebody else.
Yes, you do have to be careful with manifestation. It can happen. Negativity attracts negativity, like positivity attracts positivity. But again, it's all down to suggestion,
And
words.
with karma, how soon does that take effect? Or does that vary? Some say that karma,
Karma comes from your previous life lessons.
so karma wouldn't necessarily, if you've done something bad in this lifetime, it wouldn't necessarily come back to you.
It might come back in your spirit on your next lesson, on your next lifetime lesson.
But not on the same lifetime.
It is not instant. Again, you follow your paths. Your paths veer off sometimes, but you have to be brought back on the path. Sometimes in that lifetime, your karma can come back in that lifetime.
Oh, okay, so it can come.
But it is all part of your journey. When you go off the path, again, you are always brought back onto the path.
So the karma can come back in both the current lifetime and a future lifetime.
If those lessons that you came to learn have not been learnt, yes.
Okay. And is it true that we keep experiencing same or similar situations and scenarios until we master the lesson?
Yes, but it is your choice whether you want to come back or not. Your guides and your teachers in the spirit will discuss this with your friends and your groups. You do not have to come back, but you are always there to learn and progress.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to share with us? Obviously, I have lots of questions, but I don't want to keep bombarding you with questions because I realise that it may be quite exhausting as well.
Anything I'd like to share with you is just open your hearts and your minds. Share love and good thoughts. Know that we are always with you. You only have to ask us for your help. We will give it.
Thank you. So with opening your heart, that just brings me on to, what do you think is the most effective way of raising your vibration?
Try to reduce the negativity, which can be hard sometimes as you're on your life path, because things happen. Just try not to think bad thoughts of others, even though it might be happening back to you, because again, you get in the negativity circle. Try to be positive or neutral. Try not to be negative, not to judge. Just be confident with who you are at any point, any size, any age. Just be you. That's all you need to be, is you. What other people think of you does not matter. Just be happy as you are.
Do you think that there are any safe drugs to take to like enhance your spiritual connection? You know, some people do something called Reiki, some people do mushrooms.
Herbs, spices, things that grow from the earth. Positive thinking and meditation.
Is there any particular herbs or spices?
Oh, there are so many that are all good and in different combinations, and still some that have not been found yet.
Hmm. What do you think about fluoride? Do you think that that can be harmful to our pineal glands?
That is just a chemical.
Or do you think
Again,
that can...
positive thinking, natural waters from springs are the best that you can get, but there are lots of situations on the earth where this is not possible. So things are added in your waters so that you have enough to drink and keep you hydrated.
So with the fluoride, do you think it's more of a mind over matter?
This is highly possible. We're going to have to leave now.
Thank you so much for answering so many questions.
It has been great to join you all once again.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
It's nice to come back. Thank you very much. Love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless there is anyone else in spirit that would like to make contact, just before we go.
My energy is not very good.
Is there anything that we can do to help?
Vibration is hard. Hard for me. But it's a pleasure to try and join you tonight.
Thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome, my dear.
Are you any of our spirit guides?
My master is very weak tonight. I cannot answer that one very well. You have spirit guides all around tonight.
Do you know whether angels actually exist on the earth plane as well as in spirit?
Angels, my dear, are just spirits that help and guide. Even though on earth plane, there are good people. Good people, we say, are angels.
Okay, so they can be evolved from human souls as well then.
Yes, my dear, yes.
What are their main purpose in spiritual development?
Is to help and guide and give them knowledge.
Thank you.
Sometimes that knowledge is just little knowledge, as angels do learn as well. They learn from the masters.
And what about fairies? Are they part of folklore or do they really exist? Like, have they evolved as miniature angels where you can actually find them?
We call them babies. These are the babies that come from Earth plane. And as they grow, and the knowledge they will grow.
What do they grow into? Are they, what would you say they are? Or are they just fairies?
Fairies are like babies from the Earth plane. And everybody grows and evolves. So when babies are born and they come and they cross, they grow. And then they become our souls, our learners. They teach. And then they become guides. But they're not guides. They have to be taught how to be guides. It's like going to school.
Where do we find fairies? Is it true that they come from gardens and woodlands?
No, dear, no. They are the babies. They are the fallen babies.
Babies as in real human babies?
Yes.
Right. Where does like the fairies come from in terms of like the stories of fairies coming in from enchanted woodlands and stuff?
They're just stories that people from the earth plane have made up.
Oh, right.
And like they get to give stories to children. And that's how they believe. And that's how they believe in the spirit world. It is hard. It is hard. We have non-believers, and it is difficult to get them to believe. But when they cross over, they understand more.
Can we reincarnate with our soul groups and have the same relationship, for example, brother and sister or parent and child, and relive the human experience with them differently? Or do we have to reincarnate with our soul groups and have different family relationships?
So
Bit of a complex one, isn't it, that one?
the way I can put that is we all cross over. Our families are waiting for us. So you always stay with your family. And they help you to cross over. And then it's them that will help you to learn the steps with your spirit guides. Your spirit guides will always be there, but they help you with the steps. Trying to make it easy. That is understandable, my dear. It is a very tricky one too.
It is a complex question, isn't it?
But like on Earth plane, you have your friends. And you do reunite with friends. However, not always do you go back to those friends that you had on the Earth plane, because sometimes they do not serve you no longer.
True.
And sometimes you meet other, how can I put this, souls.
Yeah.
And those souls will teach you other lessons.
That's it.
So you kind of evolving all the time, my dear, all the time. You're learning all the time. Even here, we're learning all the time.
Who actually creates new souls in the spirit plane?
Souls aren't created. It's people on the earth plane that come over with their souls.
Ah.
And it's them that actually it's like the souls have to go back. Put it a different way for you, my dear. It's like the souls have to go back to school and relearn things.
Right, I'm with you. So new souls are created through humans in the earth plane and then transition into
Yes, my dear. Yes.
So every day
You are born
there's
every day.
much more spirits.
Every day, darling.
Do
Every
they
day.
ever die like spirits? And now spirits live on and go for certain lessons, but does there ever become a point where it stops? Just like the human experience stops.
Souls live on. Souls live on. They have different levels.
So it never stops.
No, my dear. No. We live on.
That's interesting.
You have your soul before you even are born. And then when you are born, that soul is born with you.
That soul. Who found that soul? Did it come from the spirit realm or the human realm?
Spirit, my dear.
Right. And who okay. So go back to
They're always waiting.
Who picked the soul? Like who created the soul to start off with? Of course, it came into a human, and it came that way. But who initially created that soul?
So, souls are always there, always created. There are old souls that want to come back to Earth. And it is the old souls that come back to Earth are reunited with a new.
With a new body. Okay. So
The saying is that you've been here before.
yeah, that's true.
That's what it's all about.
And what about, so that's being here before, but what about new souls? Where do they come from?
Again, that is from the spirit world. We're always developing. We're developing all the time. So obviously we have to have new souls, have to go somewhere.
How do they get created though?
I'm not.
It's a bit technical, isn't it?
My elder would understand that more than me.
Okay. Is that something you could take back and we can bring it back up another week?
That is quite possible.
Okay.
My link is a bit weak tonight.
I think you've been doing fantastic so far.
Oh, thank you, my dear. Thank you. Energies have built up so I could answer.
Yeah, thank you.
It is a lovely, lovely energy, as always. It is lovely to be back here, as always. You are learning all the time.
Have you been on the Earth plane many times?
Yes.
Do you not recall to yourself how many times? You're not too sure.
I'm not too sure. Not too sure.
Too many to remember, yeah?
Yes. I am an old soul, but still learning.
Yeah. What is the purpose of the Earth plane? Do you know?
Like everything, for learning, for loving, and understanding. Without the Earth plane, souls who are coming to reincarnate have got nowhere to go, and babies are born. It's difficult. So the purpose of the Earth plane is everybody's learning. Everybody's on their own journey.
So when you mention souls need somewhere to go, what about the souls that don't come down to the Earth plane? Where do they go?
You've heard the word retirement. They are having a rest. But once they've had a rest, then they may come back to the Earth plane.
What does a rest look like to you? Like, do you have beaches or like pleasurable places that you can, or do you literally rest in a bed? You know, like.
That's difficult to answer because everybody has different ways. For me, I'd like to say it looks like heaven.
What does heaven look like though?
People have different views on heaven.
True.
For me, it's a place for peacefulness, place for thought gathering and learning.
Do you still have friends there that are resting as well?
I have many friends. And
do you still get to have fun?
Different fun. Yes, my dear. Yes, it's fun, different on the earth plane that it is here for us.
What do you think is more fun, the earth plane or the spirit realm?
Oh, that's a difficult one, my dear. That's a
I guess it
difficult
depends
one.
on the experiences that you had on the earth plane as well, isn't it?
Yes,
Mm.
some on the earth plane, you know. I'm trying to put things in a nicer way.
Mm.
It's earth plane can be a nice place, but then there are some not so nice places, and I suppose that's where for everywhere
So there's
you learn.
not some
you
nice
learn.
places in your world as well.
It's journeys, and
Mm.
it's learning and discipline. Sometimes discipline has to come in place.
What types of discipline? Do you have anything that can cause pain?
None of us here are in pain, not like we was on earth plane.
Okay. So some of us have been to the source and seen the energy and felt it and seen some knowledge. Can any of us visit there and use the energy if needed?
Of course, with help from your guides, from your elders and your guides. But I will stress, my dear, it is hard, it is difficult. It is the feeling, the feeling is very, very different, let's say, and can be a little bit bewildering. And some people, I've been there and I've helped, and if you're not used to that energy, it can be a little bit
Overwhelming?
In your terms, could be scary.
Scary, yeah.
Because of,
It's the unknown, isn't it?
of what we do there and how we take it over.
And in terms of the source, does that to different humans and different spirits, does the source look differently or does it look the same?
That's a difficult one.
Well, when you've had conversations with your peers and that, have they described it in the same way that you have, or it's not something that's really?
It's some different. Sometimes you can go to the same source and it looks totally the same, and then it could look different. It just depends
varies.
what and the spirit guides, what spirit guides are taking you and guiding you at this time. Because I was hearing the other person earlier, I was watching, and I heard about the spirit guides. Now, everybody has a spirit guide, but on the life's journey, you will come across different spirit guides that will help you for that particular time in your journey.
But do you also have one that stays with you from beginning
my
to
dear?
End?
Yes, my dear. However, that spirit guide will drop off, but always be with you. So the new spirit guides that are there to teach you different.
I understand what you mean.
Yes. I am starting to fade. The energies are slowly dropping.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for listening to me and answering so many questions. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, my child. God bless to you and God bless to the group. It has been wonderful yet again. Hopefully, I should be back stronger than ever.
Thank you.
Okay,
But for now, goodbye.
goodbye. God bless to you. Right. Time for us now to finish today's question and answer session. We would like to thank Spirit for being here to guide us and working directly with us. That includes our personal guides for their ongoing support and the additional advisors that have joined us here today to give us the benefit of their wisdom. Thank you for your continued support, which we all fully appreciate and value. And we look forward to linking up again with you next time. Chris, if you think of it, can you stop the recording, please?